Let's talk about generating leads with the Google Display Ads, which is not really typical use of Google Display Network. Traditionally, Google Display Network is used to show your brand for brand awareness and brand recognition. And so your ads will be seen by people who browse internet, watching YouTube or checking email. But it is possible to generate leads effectively with Google Display Ads. Let's look for at 8 tips which can help do that. Here we go. So the tips will fall into 3 buckets. First, you have to use the right message, and the message is determined by the goal of your campaign. Then you have to use the right targeting, and you have to measure conversions correctly, specifically for display ads. So let's look at each tip one by one. So don't focus on hard sell, meaning in people who view display ad, they are not searching for the solution right at this moment, unlike in a text search ads when they type in something and they expect the answer. Instead, people are in a phase of informational search or consideration. That's why you have to tailor your message accordingly. Don't use and how do you do that? You do that by using specific call to action. Call to action should not be buy now or contact us today. Instead, it should be something softer selling. Let's look at what can be done. Where can it be done? So, if you create a display ad, you have 2 options: responsive display ad and upload display ads. Upload is, I don't recommend using upload display ad, which is kind of like old school. Instead of, you use a responsive display ad where you provide several images. You can even provide several videos, headlines, and descriptions. And Google then will mix and match them and fit them into the publisher's website, blending with a font, which is very important. It will create an impression of a native ad. So when we were talking about the call to action, so where do you use specific call to action? Well, obviously not in the headlines, which is it's possible, but it's difficult. You could use it in description. For example, in the end of the description, you can say something like try for free, or download the list of tips and tricks, which is a kind of lead magnet, but it's appropriate and people more likely in display network to click on that when it's not a hard sell. Another area where you can use specific call to action is actually you can customize call to action button, text on a button. By clicking this and clicking on this option, you see how you can select different call to actions. So I would recommend to use things like sign up, maybe subscribe, and learn more. I would not use shop now, apply now, book now. So that's a call to action. Then right targeting. Targeting is very important because Google Display Ads network consists of huge amount of websites, and it will use up all your budget, and in most cases, it may go to wrong clicks and you will get very low efficiency. So there are many targeting methods, and let's look at several of them. First, remarketing. Remarketing is the first thing you should consider with display ads. It's especially if you have tight budget. It's basically a way to show your ads to the visitors of your site. It increases possibility of converting them, because imagine someone is checking different sites. Let's say they check 10, 15 sites, and he doesn't even remember. Maybe he liked your site, but if you keep appearing in his browser, then it's more likely that the person will click and convert. Another way of good targeting is placements. Placements is basically where you specify URLs or sites where your ads should appear. This is not, I mean, the downside, placements will limit your ads in a way that it will not show in any other placements. So this should be used sparingly. But, or unless you know that the specific sites where your products get, people who are interested in your products hang out a lot. But the good thing is when you start this audience, when you start add new placement, you can type in the topic or the keyword, and Google will suggest you several sites and the YouTube channels with approximate number of impressions, so you can actually pick from there. Next good targeting option is custom intent audiences. It's basically a combination of keywords and placements, but you can select, let's say, 3 topic keywords and several URLs. Up to Google recommends up to 15. So that Google analyzes that and then starts showing your ad to people who are interested in those topics or visit those sites. So this is not as straightforward as placement, but it's kind of another level of automation, and it can be very efficient too. And of course, there is a lot of clicks that are really not relevant, and you should exclude irrelevant content and sites. I usually exclude all apps from all ads from mobile apps. In 99% of cases, mobile apps is not where my clients want to see their ads. And also, I exclude a bunch of URLs, known URLs like games that are really not going to produce any conversions. And also several YouTube channels, like kid-related YouTube channels. I have a list of more than thousands of those. You can download it by clicking the link in the description. Now let's talk about measurement, because this is important to know how effective your display ads are in conversions. First of all, use the correct attribution model. The simple rule of thumb is don't use last click, because very often people convert after clicking to your display ad and coming back several days later and clicking on your other maybe search text ads and converting on that. With the last click, you will not know the contribution of that first display ad. But there's another thing. People convert even after viewing your display ad without clicking it. And there is actually a way to view that, to see that in your Google Ads reports. It's as simple as adding the special column, view through conversions column in the reports. This is how it looks. Here we can see that a campaign display remarketing blog has generated conversions, e.g. sale 1 conversion and 6 view through conversions, meaning that someone has converted after viewing ad from this campaign without clicking and converted elsewhere in this account, probably on a search ad. This is a great way to justify the value of display campaigns and also viewing the contribution of display campaign. So here are the 8 tips and couple of thoughts at the end. Experimentation is key. The good thing is it's easy with Google Display Ads because you start experiment and you run it for 3-4 days and you get enough data to decide to understand if it's been good or not. Clicks are cheap, clicks come quickly. For example, I would recommend to set up the ad group for one ad group for placements and one ad group for custom intent audiences in the same campaign. Maybe play with different custom intent audiences, but be mindful of the budget, and then see if it has worked or not. And I hope it's been helpful for you. Let me know if you're interested in anything in particular of these topics. By the way, if you're interested in attribution model, there is another video in my channel. Check it out. And let me know what other topics about Google Display, about Google Ads you are interested in hearing about. And subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.